This is the Great Bowl Football Show, presented by Gate City Bank.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. The 2012 North Dakota State football season is underway. It started with a spectacular moment, a great exclamation point to last year's championship run. The championship banner was raised to the roof. 1 minute and 45 seconds from ground to ceiling, and that minute 45 gave the standing room only crowd of nearly 19,000 a chance to lose their voice early. It was incredibly loud, and it was a great moment. Joining us is the head coach, Craig Bohl. And Coach, I know you were in the locker room for this ceremony, so you didn't actually get to see it go to the ceiling, but you saw it up there when you came out. What's it mean to have that banner in the roof of the Fargo Dome?
Well, you know what, that football team worked extremely hard in this process of transitioning from, our traditional Division II division into Division I. A lot of people said we couldn't get it done, and for us to go out and win it last year was great. But the challenge for us was we're the 2012 Bison to get moving forward. But I'm sorry I missed the showing because I heard it was outstanding. It
was very well done by the marketing staff at NDSU. Now, Robert Morris, congratulations on the opening win. What'd you think of this team coming in?
Well, coming in, we felt like they were very capable. We had played them 2 years ago. We didn't feel like their talent level was quite to that same level. But in opening games, you never know. You have new players out there, and you don't know how they're going to respond in a game-like situation. For the most part, I thought we played really well. There was a couple hiccups along the way, but by and large, it was a great opener.
Well, let's take a look at the first half highlights. Again, just a terrific atmosphere at the Fargo Dome. It was really loud in there yesterday, and I thought a dominating first drive by the offense, a real statement. Brock Jensen came out and played well.
You know, it's important for us to be balanced on offense, and we've got an experienced quarterback here. You can see Zach Raw. It's great having Zach back, and he made a really good catch and kept us on the field.
Here's that 1-2 punch at running back. Sam O'Jury for 15, then John Crockett for 13. What a dynamic duo.
Well, anytime we've been able to run the football well, it's because we've got more than just one running back there. You can see Sam moving the pile, and then along with this new player here, John Crockett, shows his speed to the outside. John plays really hard and certainly added an awful lot.
3rd and goal at the 1, a fade to the tight end.
Well, I think it's important for us, as opposed to just running the football all the time, to be able to throw the football here. Brock put some money right on to Taylor Nelson, right in the corner of the end zone. Couldn't have drawn it up any better.
7-0 Bison. Now defensively, boy, they were so good last year. Talk about this unit and what you expect this year.
Well, we had a dynamic defense last year, and I think we're more talented. We're probably not as experienced or deep, but it was great to see. Here's one of our fans really getting excited for that Bison defense.
Hey, you have a new kicker. This is a long one for him to debut with.
You know what? As you get further out, Adam Keller's got a good leg. He did a nice job during the course of the game. He just pulled that one a little bit to the left.
Now, Christian Dudzik moved from corner to safety, and he makes a big play here.
A good pressure by Levon, and Christian did a great job judging the football. Caught the ball. That's not an easy catch, and caught the ball over his shoulder. Really pleased with the transition from corner to safety for Christian.
And right after the turnover, you go with a deep ball, and I thought Brock's deep balls were really good in this game.
Well, it's important for us, Jeremy, to be able to throw the ball deep, and that's going to get some people out of the 8- and 9-man boxes. Here, Zach was actually behind the defender, and Zach did a nice job. It was good errand to the ball by Brock.
Now, you have a great drive going. We're in the second quarter, but there's a turnover in the red zone.
Well, we've done a really good job in the past holding on to the football. I know Sam was disappointed here. He was about ready to go down and got stripped, and those are some of the things we tell. When you go down, make sure you give the ball back to the official.
Robert Morris did nothing, though. Great pressure by Drevlo.
Well, Ryan Drevlo inside has done a nice job. He beat his man and came up with a big sack.
They punt, and here's Mr. Crockett. This is an unbelievable touchdown run.
Well, we felt like John had good ability coming. They were actually, the defense was playing that play very well, and you can just see a tremendous individual effort. It makes the coach look pretty doggone good.
Well, the fans were happy about that one, too. I saw a lot of mouths wide open after that run. Hey, a great blitz package by the defense here. A nice call by Chris Kleiman, who's the new defensive coordinator.
Chris is an experienced defensive coordinator, understands our defense well, and here you can see great pressure. That's a free safety blitz.
The nice drive stalls in the red zone, but you get 3 out of here. You get a field goal from Keller. You did move the ball very well on this drive, though.
We did move the ball well, and it was nice to see Adam come in on a kick other than an extra point. 17-0, we could have done a little bit better at this point.
And there were a few things, first game things like this, a false start there, but by and large, a pretty good half. 17-0 NDSU at the half. Let's take a look at some of the stats for you. Brock Jensen, very good, 10 of 16, 114 yards and a score. There's Crockett, 5 carries, 54 yards and a touchdown. Nice half for Grant Olson with 5 tackles, and Grant Olson is on the Bison hot seat this week. What's the most painful injury you've ever had?
That would be when I tore part of my kidney senior year of football, high school.
Ouch. Do you prefer fruit or vegetables?
Ooh, definitely vegetables. Gotta go with vegetables.
What's more important to you, the television or the internet?
Television. I gotta be watching SportsCenter every day. It's a must.
What's your favorite season of the year, spring, summer, fall, or winter?
Definitely summer. I'm a lakes guy. I gotta get out on the lakes, get in the water a little bit.
Okay. If you could have an endless supply of food for the lake, what would it be?
As long as my mom's cooking, I don't care. I need my mom cooking. That's what it is.
How many dates would you go on before introducing them to your parents?
About 3 or 4, I think.
Very good. What's your favorite cartoon as a kid?
Favorite cartoon as a kid? I hate to admit it, but I like Pokemon a lot. I hate to admit it, but I like Pokemon.
If you owned a yacht, what would you name it?
Probably gonna have to go with the Black Pearl.
Ooh, that's a good one. What's your worst personality trait?
Worst personality trait? Sometimes I can get a little aggressive and be a little mean when people mess up on the football field. So that might be my worst one, I think. Teammates are nodding in the background, so apparently they agree.
If you could snap your fingers and appear somewhere else, where would it be?
Ooh, somewhere on a beach. Any old beach will be just fine.
Welcome back to the show. Coach, you're up 17-0. Talk about what went on in the locker room, some adjustments that were made.
We talked about really playing the game a little bit cleaner, making sure we can control the things we can control, i.e. Penalties, jumping off sides, correction of assignments. For the most part in the first half, we were pretty good, but if you really want to be an excellent football team, you got to take care of your own business, and those things were addressed, and we played very well in the second half.
Yeah, especially in the third quarter. Let's roll those highlights. It was a terrific third quarter, especially defensively for the Bison. Robert Morris really didn't do anything. Ricky Hagan starts it off with a sack here, and he's another one of those defensive ends that adds depth.
We're able to play a lot of different players here. You can see Ricky with the speed rush on the outside and did a nice job beating the tackle and sacking the quarterback.
Total domination by the O-line here.
Really good job. You can see guys man on man and getting a nice crease for Sam O'Jury. I believe he picked up about 17 yards there.
Yeah, and Sam O'Jury finishes off this drive with a nice run. It's 24-zip.
You can see once again, he went into the end zone without being touched at all, and that's a real credit to the offensive line there.
Robert Morris rushed for a -2 yards in the entire third quarter because of great penetration by the front four.
We did a nice job penetrating, and our defensive front is, along with the linebackers, they're very imposing.
Jensen DeVries is going to be a nice combination this year. Here it is again.
Well, good protection up front all game long. We had a good protection, and you can see a nice timing route from Brock over to Zach.
Talk about this play that goes deep to Ryan Smith.
Well, this is a play-action pass, and we have run and get the safeties up, and then Brock does a nice job reading the coverage, and that's not an easy throw to make, and Ryan did a great job bringing the ball in right before he went out the back of the end zone.
That really got the fans excited. He's kind of a fan favorite, a hometown North Dakota boy, so the fans are very excited now. Turnover margin, always a big deal. This is a really good play by Travis Beck, a forced fumble.
These are things that we work on, Jeremy. Here you can see they did complete the pass, and Travis hawked him down and then stripped the football and came up with a strip, and that's a real credit to our defensive coaches and our players. You can see a big dog pile in there, and we're fortunate enough to come up with the football after the strip.
Thundar's excited now, and I think back to offense, I think this play really shows the footwork of Johnny Crockett.
John's got excellent change of direction, and he's learning how to be more of a north-south runner. He's over 200 pounds and adds a great dimension to our offense.
Local product, Andrew Oakland, nice catch.
Yeah, really nice, good job. Concentration. Andrew came up, knew he was going to get hit, got his feet down right before he got tackled.
Andrew's from Fargo South, and Trevor Gebhardt here on a slant pass.
Nice job of timing route by Brock here, hitting him on the slant route right through the window. Trevor came up with a good catch. I believe that's Trevor's first touchdown.
Yeah, it is. 38-0 now. The game's starting to really open up, and your defense can really hone in, pin their ears back, and they did that. Absolutely nowhere to go for Robert Morris on offense.
Well, during the course of this, you can see Levon Perry here. I mean, he beat about 3 different guys, and a great deal of energy. Levon is developing into a great defensive tackle.
A chance to get the second-string quarterback in here, too, Coach. In the third quarter, Carson Wentz, some very important reps for him.
Well, without question. Typically, if you get the game in hand, you're able to insert your backup quarterback maybe on the last drive. And for a redshirt freshman to come out, you know, during the middle of the third quarter and get a lot of meaningful reps is going to pay great dividends for us.
Finish this drive off with a touchdown from Derek Lang. Now it's 45-0. The total yards are going to pop up on the screen. You're really dominating the game at this point.
We've really strived to be a stronger second half team, and you can see the difference 404 to 81. That's quite a lopsided difference in yardage.
Number 61 here, Brian Schatz, another forced fumble.
Great job by Schatz. He's a young defensive tackle and did a nice job stripping the ball. Once again, those are the things that we work on.
Here's another sack, and I just thought that the pressure kept coming, and Robert Morris really had their will broken by this point.
Well, I think at this time they were starting to look at the clock saying, hey, listen, how much longer is this game going to go? But we got a lot of, all those guys for the most part are backup players. It's great to see them get some game reps.
How about the movement of the feet here to move the pile by Langer?
That's the old-time throwback runner, and Derek Lang is a strong, very capable tailback.
Here's Andrew Bonnet, a young tight end. Nice throw by Carson.
Great job on the play action by Carson, and Andrew Bonnet came up with the catch, and it was good to see Bonnet get some meaningful reps also.
Matt Jones, another running back in the mix, and he shows some nice moves.
Well, it's always great to have depth at running back. Typically, those guys are going to get injured during the course of the year, so having a strong, stable group of guys there is important. And here we're going for it, I believe, on 4th down, and Carson comes up and gets a touchdown.
Yeah, that wraps up the scoring 52-0. We're going to wrap up the highlights here, though, with Devion Dinwiddie. This is a dynamic run.
Well, Devion's a really talented player. He's not big in stature, but you can see he's very elusive. He's got strong legs, and his brother Deshaun is on our team, and I know was on the sidelines cheering him all along the way.
Well, that wraps up this game. A dominating performance in the second half by NDSU, 52-0. Brock Jensen, very effective, 16 of 23. Great dynamic duo in the backfield, 81 for Ojuri, 75 for Crockett on just 7 carries. Robert Morris only had 88 yards of total offense. Let's hear what the players had to say after the game.
First game of the year, you kind of come in, not really knowing what to expect. But anytime you hold any team in college football to under 100 yards, that's quite an accomplishment.
We had a lot of different guys with receptions tonight, and it was good to see. I don't know how many different guys caught balls, but it was a significant number, and it was good to see those young guys get out there and make some plays. You know, they were had some impressive catches out there, and it was really encouraging to see that.
You know, it's a long time coming. You know, it's went through my mind so many times. You know, what would I do? How would I act? How would I play? What type of focus would I have? And it just felt like I was back at home. You know, football field. That's my sanctuary. That's home. So
it felt really good, especially after last year. After getting through the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, you know, every quarter I played through felt better and better, and especially because they were throwing me some passes and we were getting good blocks and everything. You know, it felt good.
Really no injuries to speak of either, Coach,
No,
right? You came out very healthy.
Really pleased about that. And we were concerned anytime you go into a football game, typically you're going to come up with 1 or 2. And it's going to be important for us to stay fresh during the course of the season and to go through the first game injury-free. I know as a head football coach, I had my fingers crossed, and it worked.
We heard from Zach Vraw in the postgame there. Talk about him a little bit. He went through so many injuries, went through all the collarbone injuries, but he looked really good in this ball game.
Well, he's always been a very talented player. He was voted Mr. Football his senior year in high school, and he's had a string of some bad luck with broken collarbones, and now I don't think he can go through an airport because he's got titanium in both shoulders, and they're not breaking.
And now the offensive line, you know, a question mark coming into the season. You started 2 redshirt freshmen in the first ball game. Talk about how they played and how you thought the offensive line played.
We're really pleased with that. Anytime you have a couple new guys replace fifth-year seniors, you don't know. And I thought Robert Morris did a lot of different plays, and on defense they did a great job.
There's Joe Haig and Josh Colville. Both guys played very well. Joe Haig is from Brainerd, and these guys are really stepping into important roles.
Well, without question, you know, our offensive line really is the thing that makes our offense go, and those two guys for freshmen played well.
You know, some things that really showed up in the depth chart, I thought, in this first ball game was Mike Hardy played some defensive tackle. By and large has been a defensive end, and also Bobby Ullman played some linebacker, and he's normally been a safety. So the little movement on the defensive side, talk about that.
What our coaches are trying to do is get your best 11 out there on the field at certain times, and to be able to play Mike and then Bobby, it gives them an opportunity to play.
Now, Andre Martin, talk about him a little bit. He transferred from Northern Iowa in the offseason. He's a nice defensive back, also very good on special teams. He made a great play, which we're going to show yesterday. He had great coverage on the special teams, but he's good in the defensive backfield, too.
Well, Andre was slated to start at Northern Iowa. He's an experienced player, and we've got a lot of depth at that corner position. It's great to have him as part of our club.
Yeah, he had a big hit in the special teams yesterday. All right, coming up on the show, we are going to sit down with Brock Jensen, the effective and experienced quarterback of the Bison. Stay with us. Welcome back to the show. It is always good to have an experienced quarterback, and the Bison have that with Brock Jensen. The starting quarterback from the national title team is so poised, whether it's mentoring new backup Carson Wentz or handling the elevated expectations from the fan base. Brock Jensen has a plan in place. This week, he discussed this in a sit-down interview with Jamal Spencer.
A little bit about being a leader this year, specifically at the quarterback position. I mean, your backup has never taken a snap in a game. Do you feel like, you know, you want to show him the ropes and kind of help him like you were helped and kind of give him a little heads up as to what the college game is like?
Oh, absolutely, and you know, he's got a lot of talent. You know, Carson Wentz, he's going to be really good, and you know, I've tried to relay as much knowledge to him as I possibly can. And you know, he's got a strong arm. He's a big kid, and you know, I'm looking forward to working with him, working with each other. You know, helping. You know, as like Coach Bohl says always, you know, as iron sharpens iron, so one man sharpens another. It's a proverb, and you know, that's what me and Carson are trying to do. You know, just sharpen each other's sword, and you know, he battles every day. You know, and he makes me a lot better, and you know, I really appreciate that.
I mean, obviously last year you guys won the title, but even in the playoff games and down the stretch, you could tell you were a different quarterback than even when the season started, let alone from spring ball. You can tell how you progressed. Coming into this season, do you feel any stress or pressure to kind of, you know, that you got to do everything that you did last year exactly the same? Do you feel any of that pressure?
You know, I'm excited about this team that we have right now. And, you know, there is that pressure, you know, coming from the public of us, you know, the success that we're coming off of and everything, and there is that pressure, that added pressure, but, you know, this is a new team, and we have new goals, you know, and that's just one game at a time. You know, we can't overlook any opponent, and, you know, we just have to take it 1 week at a time like we always do.
Coach, it's always good to be good at the quarterback position and have experience there. That's a nice luxury for you, isn't it?
Well, it makes a big, big difference. Your quarterback, so many things revolve around his skill set and how he moves the offense and his playmaking ability. Brock had a great year last year. He's a warrior, and it's great. He's back, and he's 100%, and he's healthy and more experienced, so really helpful.
How has he evolved, maybe from a leadership standpoint and also on the field as a player? How has he evolved in the last year or two?
Well, his presence on the field has been notable. He's got a great command of our offense, and then, as I mentioned earlier, he's got great playmaking ability. He can either do it with his legs or his arm, and he's gaining more experience so that the decisions that he makes, the reads that he has, he's getting into his second and third read, where many times as a young guy, they're looking at one. If it's not there, take off and run, and he's got great presence.
How long did it take him to get over that turf toe? He really suffered through that most of the year last year. It probably took a lot of R&R in the offseason.
It certainly did. He went through spring with it, remnants of it, and he was able to be back at 100% this summer. And as I said earlier, Brock is a very athletic quarterback that has the ability to run, and so it's great to have him back at full speed.
Hey, we have a fun new segment coming up for you in the show. It's called The Future Crop of Bison, brought to you by Peterson Farm Seed. I think you'll enjoy that. We'll also have our player of the game and take a look at Colorado State. Stay with us. Welcome back. New segment this year, the Peterson Farm Seed Future Crop of Bison. This segment gives us a chance to hear from players who are just now emerging. No better example of that than John Crockett. Crockett made his debut for the Bison yesterday and definitely left an impression. It was the 26-yard run that opened everyone's eyes. Tremendous footwork and elusiveness and the speed. John got just 7 carries, but he averaged over 10 yards a carry on those plays. And this is no surprise. As a high school senior at Totino Grace, you see right here, he had 2,297 yards from scrimmage as a senior and accounted for a mind-boggling 41 touchdowns. John Crockett is going to have a big impact in Fargo.
I can have a pretty good impact. You know, a lot of people don't know about my ability, and that's kind of a good thing, you know, kind of the secret weapon, I guess you can kind of say. But I got a great offensive lineman. I got a great offensive line. I got great backs. I got great coaches. So us all tying in together, you know, our whole offense could be something special. So.
Coach, I think the best thing about John not is his ability, but his personality. He has a pretty good personality.
You know he does. John's overcome an awful lot, and he's been welcomed here at NDSU. He's on track with his eligibility and done a good job in the classroom, and he's a strong physical runner, and he's a team guy, and he exudes energy. When he's out there, you always hear John. He's always upbeat, and he enjoys playing the game.
All right, time for our Nodak Mutual Insurance Player of the Game. The wide receiver position was a question mark coming in, but Zach Vraw played well yesterday, and Ryan Smith scored his first receiving touchdown as a Bison. The Wahpeton, North Dakota Star earns Player of the Game honors this week. Smith had 5 catches for 68 yards. Here's the touchdown, and he ran a great route on this score. Smith also had 63 yards in punt returns and continues to contribute in so many ways. Smith has battled through injuries to become a key weapon for the Bison. Congratulations to Ryan Smith. Now let's start looking ahead, Coach, and Colorado State is a big-time opponent. They beat Colorado at Invesco Field yesterday, Mile High Stadium, 22-17. There's a score. What do you know about the Rams?
Well, they've got a new coaching staff, and they're very talented, and they come from the Mountain West Conference, and it'll be a big, tall order for us. I mean, to go on the road and play a Mountain West team, we're going to have to play well, take care of the football. It'll be a great game, and we're excited about playing it.
And it'll be right here on KVLY and the statewide NBC network as well. And also, Coach, a couple of scores in the Valley really caught my eye. We have a couple of those. Youngstown State beat Pitt, and Northern Iowa almost beat Wisconsin.
Well, I think this is just a clear indication of what we said a long time. You can see the Penguins easily handled Pittsburgh, and I know it was a dogfight with Northern Iowa against Wisconsin. Those are, you know, when you start talking about Pittsburgh and Wisconsin, those are perennial power teams, and for us to match up well, I think it gives the idea of the competition level that we'll face from our own conference.
Congratulations, Coach. The Bison are 1-0. We're off and running. Hope you enjoyed the first show. We'll be here throughout the season. Have a great weekend, everyone.